you mentioned mom racing, and we have a copy of the article. I think you were interviewed this summer by Motocross Action magazine. I was kind of just doing some, thank goodness for Google and Wikipedia. Although AJ, you said you can't use Wikipedia. He's kind of on the fence about that. But
oh, really?
Yeah, it got me through high school, so I'm going to use it. But anyway, so mom raced. You mentioned mom race, and the article did too. Please elaborate a little bit more about mom racing, because that you don't hear that very much.
Maybe we can have her on next.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
Well, listen, Michigan, as you know, in the late 70s and 80s, Michigan was the hotbed of motocross. I mean, Keith Bowen, Eddie Warren, the Bigelow brothers. I mean, it was the place to be. And, if I say Lisa Akins, I mean, the multi-times women's champion. So women, they've had the class. I mean, women's racing is huge now, but it was in the 70s. It was big as well. So, yeah. So my mom raced. She won the. I'd have to ask her exactly what year it was. She won the women's state title here in Michigan 1 year, and so until she unfortunately blew them knees out, she was done. But it started as a family hobby, riding in northern Michigan in the woods. We've got a house up by Baldwin, and if you're familiar with that area up there, just trail systems galore. So snowmobiling, motorcycling, it was always a family get together and family sport, and that's how it started. And I wouldn't change it for anything. It was awesome.
Well, it certainly sounds like your parents had a huge influence on you as a kid, and we hear that a lot. Marty, with operating the MX Express, the motocross track, and as a club we see that as well. But it sounds like your parents were right there with you along the beginning, and when you really start to come on, getting out of the amateurs, getting in the pros. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, I was. My dad will tell you to this day, one of the hardest things he ever done is you do it as a family sport, whether it's going to Loretta Lynn's or Ponca City. You have your MX family that you always traveled with, and you were around them every weekend. And my dad will tell you the hardest thing he ever did is when it was time for me to go race professionally. He just let me go. He says, "Hey, there's people that know what they're doing a lot better than I do, and they're going to get you to that next level." And he'll tell you it was the hardest thing he did, but he will also tell you it was the best thing he ever did. Because I see so many parents now in today's world, they're still clinging on and still there, and the kids are looking to them for answers when they should be looking to the team managers and the advisors that are around them. And so it's changed a lot. It's a whole different world than it used to be. Not necessarily all for the better, but it is what it is. And I get it. These parents in today's world have to really dedicate their life and spend, mortgage themselves to the tilt to get their kids to that level. I get it, but there's people out there better than those moms and dads that will take care of them. And I mean, who better than a Roger DeCoster, to take over your parenting job and get you to that next level. Look what he did with Ryan Dungey. He took Ryan Dungey out of the amateur ranks and groomed him and shaped him, and dude, one of the best ever. So yeah, so without parents, we would never be where we were at. But there's a point in time when the parent has to separate from the child and let the professionals around them do their job.
Absolutely. And Jeff, I kind of get the sense that you're not a fan of everybody gets a ribbon type of culture. Is that pretty accurate?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You got to earn your position, earn your keep. And yeah, for sure.